Game's dead, bro. Bro, why even playing this game, bro? I don't even understand. There's so many other Sims that are so much better. Just look at the Steam numbers. This game's dead, bro. Play something else. What's wrong with you? I'm gonna do what I want. That's what. Also, by your metrics, Gran Turismo 7 also is joining PMR in its death. Anyway, just figured I would spam that as my intro. Because the game is cross-platform, and it is currently doing far better, admittedly, on console than it is on PC. However, I play it primarily on PC, and I'm having a pretty solid experience. So, I think with some time, you're going to see a resurgence on PC. That's all I'm saying. I've been wrong before, but little Easter egg. I tend to be right in my hunches. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit it. Anyway, folks, welcome to the show. It's Monday. It is a little earlier than normal. It's 9 a.m. I normally stream at 11 a.m., but they bumped the... I call it the hotfix patch, because that's essentially all it was on PlayStation, guys, is the... anytime they even release a hotfix or anything of that nature... it gets a number bump. So yes, bigger number better, and the number is bigger on console, therefore console is superior to PC. However, 1505 on PC and 1506 on console are the same game, effectively. I did have the opportunity to test the game on PS5 Pro prior to getting on the stream, because I am going to be streaming, for full transparency, the PC version. I have an Elgato capture card and stuff like that I could stream for you, the PS5 stuff. However, it's far simpler to just stream right from the PC. A lot less going on, and it's just overall a better experience to deal with on my end. So I will have PS5 running in the background. If anybody else just so happens to be playing and wants me to say, they found an issue, can you confirm or deny? So if you are watching and you are on console, specifically PS5, because it might be a specific issue to Xbox, I can try it either way. However, if you find an issue, I can test it. I just can't show you that I'm testing it because I'm not capturing it. However, what you see me play today will be on PC, per usual. Console's always been superior. I said what I said, fight me. Well, I'll tell you this. I've always had PC and I've always had console side by side because I think silly arguments about which is better is silly. If you can't see the obvious positives to each, then you can't be reasoned with. Also, go Rams. Yeah, that's on you. I don't watch sports. PC always has the potential to be better, but it always has the potential to be more problematic. That's just been PCs since the dawn of time, and that will be PCs for the rest of time. You get what you get with that. Consoles will always be the more reliable way of playing a video game. But it will always be the inferior experience if you are able to troubleshoot issues that may occur specifically to PC. You know, I mean, how many of you all have heard the in advertising, especially in the it's really more of a console used word, but they do use it in reference to PCs as well for the sake of comparisons. But how many of you have referred to or have heard of a teraflop being advertised for being the horsepower measurement or metric of a video game console? Because essentially a teraflop is like horsepower. But if horsepower wasn't an already silly thing to use as a metric for comparison, teraflop, I mean, just the word itself. Anyway, so you can always make arguments for, you know, which console has the better game, this, that, and the other thing, which plays better, one might be better optimized, etc., etc. But from a raw compute standpoint, that's what I'm going to refer to here for a second. Your standard Xbox Series X has 12 teraflops. Your standard PS5 and PS5 Slim has 10 teraflops. Objectively speaking, Xbox Series X is a more powerful game console than PS5. PS5 Pro has 16 teraflops, objectively making it a more powerful console than the Xbox Series X. I think Xbox Series S has like 4 teraflops. Unfortunately, it's the lowest barrier to entry, or fortunately, it's the lowest barrier to entry into gaming. However, it's objectively going to get you the worst gaming experience in modern day gaming is the Series S. It's just 1/3 the compute power of the Xbox Series X. So it's more than just a letter change. However, I reference teraflops in consoles because on a 5090, which is what I have on PC, now mind you, this is the polar opposite end of the spectrum financially as well, so they don't compare. A 59, so I bought my PS5 Pro before the price hike, so at $700, and 3090, the 5090 I bought at retail for $3,000. So we're talking, you know, over 4 times the price. However, it has 108 teraflops compared to the 16 on PS5 Pro. So from a raw compute standpoint, the actual cost of it is actually more efficient. However, the video card can't function by itself. Game consoles can. So that shifts the focus back to consoles being the superior, more efficient way to play a video game. The other argument could shift back to PC about how a PC can do a whole hell of a lot more than just play video games. But we're not here to argue PC versus PS5. We're here to simply play video games and not judge. Be positive. Have fun. And maybe, a good old conversation. Anyway, am I getting used to the new wheel? If you're referring to the Simagic FX Pro, this guy right here, yes. I love this thing. This is actually the predecessor to the wheel that I want, which is the Zeus wheel, which is not out yet. Fun fact, bringing up the wheel, I'm just going to plug myself and my gains in the industry. I am officially a Simagic affiliate. I believe that's the proper terminology. I have an affiliate link below, and I have a discount code below. So if you are considering Simagic in the future, it's a 3% discount, I believe. And you want to go through my link, and you want to use my code, that would be cool. That's like saying, yo, this guy I know sent me. He says to go buy this stuff. So far, they sent me this, full transparency. I've been using it to review it. There's definitely... So I've bought everything else Simagic myself. This is the first thing they've sent me to test out. And again, this is the predecessor. This is actually an older variant wheel. I have the GT Neo and the Neo-X hub with a Sparko wheel on it. This guy. The Neo-X is their newer hub, and the GT Neo is their ridiculously affordably priced wheel. Like, I honestly don't know how a lot of the other wheels compete from a cost versus what you get. It's currently on my rig, and I'd have to get up to go get it. But this is the older generation, and the new Zeus wheel will be the one replacing that. So there are some things about this that are inferior to even the GT Neo. But for the most part, though, this is the best paddles that I've ever felt. I'm liking this thing a lot so far. But anyway, that's my plug for Simagic for now. I'm excited about that. I like Simagic stuff. So it's cool to see it kind of go both ways. Anyway, you guys aren't here to have me talk about my hardware. You're here to watch me play video games. So let's play some damn video games, huh? What do you say? Xbox tried to say it was better this generation because it had slightly higher teraflop. PS has always won this generation. Well, the biggest reason why PlayStation has won a lot of times is Microsoft has just massively dropped the ball on the exclusivity of games. And they've effectively, whether Microsoft wants to admit it or not, Game Pass, PC, and the rising cost of everything on the console side has effectively cannibalized Xbox itself. There's almost, unless you just can't afford in any way to get into a PC, there's almost no reason to have an Xbox anymore. You can make an argument to have a PlayStation. There's a reason why I have a PC and I have a PS5 Pro. I don't have a PC and an Xbox. There's no point to have an Xbox if you have a PC. Like zilch, not a zero. Whereas there's reasons to have a PS5 if you have a PC. Console exclusivity is, while I'm not for console, I am all about put every game on every system and you pick whichever system you want to buy and that's it. That would be my ultimate, I would say, end game goal. Just how I think every game should be crossplay if it's multiplayer. I think if you're making, it's where I think the sim racing world really suffers, is trying to do this whole PC exclusivity thing. I've been on PC my whole life. I would love to get more of my console friends into PC life. It's a hell of a great experience. However, I don't think it should be to specifically play a certain game. I think it should just be to play games in a more better experience way. English is my first language, folks. I know I say this often, but cut me some slack. All right, so we're gonna split the difference because from what I understand, consoles still have a 16-car grid, and so let me clarify why that is quick too. PC goes to 32-car grid. I never typically run 32 cars because of the massive impact to performance. It's still, now I have a 5090 and it plays fine, but if I'm actually logging my metrics, it's pretty crazy to see how much the AI does hurt performance, because they function so much primarily on the CPU side of things instead of the GPU side of things. They're heavily driven by the CPU. Consoles don't have a whole lot of CPU performance. The PS5 Pro, unfortunately, did not get any real. They got a frequency boost to the CPU, but it's effectively the same CPU as the OG PS5. And this game, unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of things like the AI, it relies on CPU performance. So that is the biggest reason why the grid is cut in half on console, is because consoles objectively don't have powerful CPUs. And 32 car grids, here's what would happen. Yes, you can run 32 car grids in multiplayer because the multiplayer is not being ran by the CPU. Like the AI, specifically the AI side of things, the functionality of the other cars is being controlled by the CPU. And when you're in multiplayer, the functionality of the other cars is being controlled by the other person playing the game. So what would happen is all of the people who currently are like, with their torches wanting 32 car grids for console, if they just said, okay, here's 32 cars, performance would tank, and then there would be people complaining about performance tanking. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right now, I can promise you on console, you want 16 car grids until they figure out how to offload some of the AI onto the GPU side of things. And that's just stuff they got to work out through time. That's not going to be 1 or 2 patches down the road. That's going to be 6 months down the road, slowly offloading the CPU, patch after patch after patch after patch. I did notice, folks, on PC, the low frame rate metrics are much higher now. So if I target 144 frames and I put a lock there, there's always a high and a low frame rate hit. And the lows are much higher now, which is good, because that you feel a lot more than the average frame rate. Okay, so anyway, you can't see it because my beautiful face is in the way, but it's going to be a 20 car grid. We're going to run the AI at, I'm going to start at 50% because I want to test them in stages. We're going to do Nordschleife, 1 lapper. Do winter, because I like the look of winter. I think the visuals of this game in winter are really, really, really nice. I personally think the warmer months like summer where the trees are super green, I think they could actually use a little more fidelity. I think they've got winter like dialed in, looking good. Autumn as well, like the separation. It's weird. It seems like the frame rate is a little bit better in the colder seasons like winter and autumn, and the detail is better. It's almost like the extra foliage of the green trees is too much of a hit off or a frame rate penalty. However, I think that it just looks better in the colder months in this game. I think winter looks phenomenal. You really see detail in winter that you can't see in summer. So for the sake of visuals, I like to race it in the wintertime. All right, so we're going to be stress testing the AI. That is going to be our primary focus of today's stream, is AI. Since that's all everybody in the world talks about these days from a technology side, we're going to do the same thing today, but except it's going to be how good is Skynet in Project Motor Racing. So, let's get to it. Vehicle setup. I think we're on our default setup here. My default setup is softs, max rear wing angle, or aka max rear downforce, and I pull all of the coast out of the differential, because when especially in the Nordschleife when there's a lot of on-off throttles, especially at higher RPM, you really want that to not snap the tires and lock the tires up. So, let's get to it, eh? All right, this is a 20-car grid, Project Motor Racing. We are at 50% AI strength. We're starting at the back of the pack. I want to see if I can run through the pack and see how they operate. This game has come a long way visually. This looks, on my end, really good. I don't know how it looks on stream, but this looks a lot better than release. So, props to the team there. Slowly but surely, this game is coming around. Anyway, let's run through the pack. Let's see how we do. Real quick, let me turn the line off, because I all know how you all are about the line. The line bothers people. I run it occasionally for a lot of the tracks that I don't know. Nordschleifer, I don't need the line, so it just looks immersion breaking. Here we go. Oh! Also, console users that got the new update, you will notice the impact sounds are a little more dynamic. There's not just one thud sound when you make contact. So the sound guy in this game does a really, really good job with the cars, and I do suspect that he will have the, or she, have the audio for impacts dialed in within time. Oh! Whoop, whoop! Whoop! Oh, oh, contact, contact! Oh, contact again! Oh, contact again, you son of a bitch! Oh my god! At least the AI took himself out, too. It wasn't just me. Alright, let's get out there again. Oop, too much, too much. No further action required on the penalty, so at least I didn't get punished there. I don't see myself catching the AI anymore, though. Let's see if we can run them down. They are on 50%, so they're effectively dumb. Also, what I do want to do is test to see if I can actually crash the AI. Because that was a problem before. The AI was, I don't want to say invincible, but it was very difficult to, if you hit them, you would get knocked off track and they would be unfathomed by it. So I'm going to see if I can do any damage to them. And we're going to be a little petty, since one just crashed me. Let's see what I can do here. Get to a nice straightaway, and we're going to try pit maneuvering one. Just see if we can. I want to try and pit this Porsche. Not that you should be doing this, but I just want to test the physics of if the AI is susceptible to impacts like you are, or if they're just rolling tanks. I'm just waiting for a good straightaway to be able to do that. All right, look at that! Look at that! That's a good sign. That means no more rolling tank syndrome. All right, improvements. Oh, oh no! We got an accident! Take advantage of it. Also, damage is off at the moment, by the way. So, in case you're wondering why there's been zero penalty to me getting hit or doing any hitting, is because, well, there's no damage. We're just testing the actual artificial intelligence of my teammates here. All right, we got rid of another one. Spun him out. Looks like you can finally punish the AI in this game. See if we can do it again. Oop, oop, oop. Almost screwed that one up. Oh no, we took each other out. No! I mean, I deserve that, 100%, but what would happen before in that situation is I would have taken myself out, and the AI would have just literally carried on like it never happened. They might get a little, oh no, we got bumped, but they were built like tanks before. So that's really good, because a big complaint about the ranked racing was the AI would hit you, punt you off the track, be unaffected, and there was nothing you could do about it. Whereas at least now, if there's a contact, there's some punishment for both. All right, that's the AI at 50%. A lot of that was sort of testing out some of the more ridiculous things like impacts, but so far, progress is progress. Now, is it perfect? No. But has it vastly improved since day one? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it has. So now we're going to move on to 75%, and we're going to do the exact same test. Game is dead. Exactly. Game is dead. It's funny is that I had someone on the little short that I posted last night say all of the Steam metrics. Yes, game is dead because it has the lowest Steam metrics. I'm like, oh, by that exact metric, Gran Turismo 7 is also dead. It's amazing how, and the thing is, it's primarily PC players too. Console players are doing a lot of the complaining, but PC players are the ones predominantly pushing the whole dead game mentality. And I don't know why. Because it's like they can't see what crossplay is and how it exists and what it does and the benefits of it. They just see PC, so because it has a small player base on PC, it's dead. It's so weird. Anyway. Just about to say that looks great. Yes, it very much looks great. And it does look really good on PS5 as well. PS5 Pro, anyway. I assume it looks similar on PS5. It definitely, I would say, needs a resolution bump, but that's going to obviously be a frame rate penalty. So they're going to have to figure to dial in where they can alleviate some of the load on the CPU and the GPU so they can bump the resolution up a little bit. Doesn't need much, but that's the biggest thing on console where it seems like it's you know, sort of penalized by comparison to, say, Gran Turismo. It's definitely running at a lower resolution because a lot of what happens in the game is more punishing on your hardware. Or people play through giants, yes. Got this game yesterday and I love it. So far, it's my favorite. Yeah, it's one of my favorites too. It's top 3 pretty consistently. My top 3 games are AMS2, PMR, and Race Room. AMS2 and Race Room, however, are PC only. So, as much as those games are very much not dead, I would argue based off of metrics that those games are also dead if PMR is dead. Because they have the lowest numbers by comparison to the other Sims on Steam. But they only have Steam. That's it. So, however, those games are not dead. That is not me saying those games are dead. That is me saying this game is also not dead. Well, Mike Nichols, that's kind of what I've been doing, and I've already offered my services to the devs. You know, when they need something checked, I will happily do it. You know, I'm not looking for any kind of payment or anything like that. I just want this game to... I enjoy playing the game, and if I can be of some help in my spare time, I would absolutely love to do it. So, I always recommend constructive criticism over just criticism, and especially over just hating something for no reason. If you're not going to offer any benefits, just shut your mouth and walk away. It's that simple. Go yell at someone in your family. Go air your grievances to a friend. Go vent to a therapist. It's a video game. Chill out. You want the game, if you truly like the game and want it to be good, maybe attempt constructive criticism. It really does help. The best analogy I can use for this is for like the repeat guys who just keep complaining and complaining and complaining and beating the dead horse. Let's just say hypothetically, in the real world, not the digital world, you hired a contractor for your house. I want to update my kitchen. My cabinets are old and dated. I want a fresh new kitchen. And they charge you amount of money, a fair market value money. So in this case, the cost of every game, well, the cost of every other kitchen guy, or contractor, not kitchen guy. He comes in, and you don't like the job. Do you demand a refund, and they just supposed to give you a refund? Do you give them the opportunity to fix it and build it to your liking? Which I can tell you in the real world, you're going to give them the opportunity. Because no one's going to just give you a refund and eat the cost of building you a kitchen or anything comparable to that and not take their kitchen back. Because they can't take their kitchen back. That being said, you're going to give them a chance to make it right. However, would you, when they come back to make the corrections to the kitchen that you do not like, would you stand in their face, yo, this kitchen sucks. I don't like this kitchen. That's wrong. This kitchen sucks. This kitchen's dead. Dead kitchen, bro. The whole time while they're trying to make it right? Don't you think they might get a little exhausted and go, you know what? I'm not going to do as good a job because I don't like you. I know how I would be in real life. I would absolutely try and make something right, but if you're going to sit there and pester me and belittle me, then I'm sorry. Here's your money back. I'm good. I would rather not deal with you as a person. And I can assure you that sentiment will carry across all industries. If you just want to sit there and badger the devs and talk about how bad the game is, I can assure you you're going to drag their morale down, and the game's going to take longer to get good, or get to your standard, I should say. So, positive, constructive criticism. Was the game delivered in the state you wanted? No, it was not. I agree. But I can assure you, as a third party to this, consumer, developer, me, even though I am a consumer and I am not a developer, I am also a businessman by trade. I own my own business. I build race bikes for a living. So I know what it's like to be self-employed. I know what it's like to be the consumer, and I know what it's like to be the person doing the work. Work with them. Make their lives easier. Help them help you. This started out as I was the consumer. And I admit, I was with most of the community. I was very disappointed with the game. Seeing the things that have been said while they are working and they are making the game better has shifted me towards the sentiment of being pro-developer, because the community has been so egregious and aggressive and ridiculous over a single video game that I have now shifted my sentiment towards, well, you know what? I kind of feel bad for the devs now, because ultimately the actual guys doing the work aren't even the ones you should be blaming for this anyway. But that's besides the point. It's the point that it has shifted so much to just beating a dead horse and not being constructive criticism that if I were the devs, I don't even know how I would react to it, honestly. And they have a better positive mindset than I could ever have in this scenario. Anyway. Asking people to act like mature adults. I know, it is a hard thing to do. I agree. But I'd like to join you again tomorrow night. Depends on what time the wife is officially back in town, so my late night gaming can only commence at my later hours, so the 11 p.m. hours. So if it's 11 p.m., then I could. But if not, I will just be doing my standard lobby hosting. Let's see. People have very reasonable expectations for their $100. They think they own the company. The guys doing the work are working super hard to deliver something good, and they care. So, like all things in the industry, there are politics to everything. Everything. And the only people, I shouldn't say the only people, because while the CEO is technically a developer, he is also the CEO, and he catches a lot of the flack. But the focus shouldn't just be on Straight 4, the studio. So for example, when you have an EA game come out, right? How often does the studio get blamed? Or do we just typically go right to EA? Oh, EA game, blah, blah. Oh, EA did it again. EA, they're the publisher. EA's not making the game. So why, in this scenario, now, mind you, I'm coming at this from a purely speculatory and an analytical way with no objective behind-the-scene facts. So disclaimer there. However, why in this particular scenario does no one want to blame the publisher. But in another scenario, everybody immediately will just blame the publisher. They never attack the studio. Ever. Why is that? Call of Duty. Everybody blames Activision. No one goes after Treyarch. I shouldn't say no one. But most of the time, people don't go after Treyarch. They don't go after Raven. They don't go after Sledgehammer. They go after Activision. So again, why is this game an exception to that typical rule? Just wondering. I'm just throwing that out there for you guys to ask yourselves that. Now, I know that anybody that I'm talking to right now that's of rational thought is already thinking about stuff like this anyway. And the people that are irrational and just being pure haters, they're not hearing me right now anyway. That's not what people do. So, good morning, Josh. Good morning, Josh. Thank you for the sub, GW Jones. I appreciate that, sir, very much. The devs still turn up in the public Discord. They don't have to do that. They could sit behind PR statements. Exactly. Depends on the community. The farm sim crowd blame giants. Well, that's a step in the right direction, I would say. Now, this isn't to put any kind of flack on giants either. That's not my intention here. My intention is to just, why is it in this scenario the focus solely on one particular person or people and not the politics that go on behind the scenes? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Every industry has politics. Chill. All right, we're going to bump the AI to 75% now. We're going to run that race back. We're going to see how they run at 75%. I like to think that I am a very analytical and fair-minded person. I think in every scenario, especially from a review standpoint, positive and negatives have to be addressed. You cannot glaze something and overlook issues, but you cannot overlook good things and focus on issues. It's all or nothing. That is how it's always been. In the racing world that I came from, something that always bothered me was people had a habit of only talking about their wins and never their losses. So they would go to an event, they'd only show their wins, they'd only talk about their wins, and they would completely ignore the reality that they took losses as well. And my sentiment on that was it was all or nothing. Show all of the results or none of the results. Same mentality here. Definitely needs collision penalties, at least in ranked. One step at a time, Josh. I agree, but for now, here's the thing. Gran Turismo 7 doesn't even get that right. Like, not even close. How often do you see in ranked play on Gran Turismo 7, someone hits someone else out, the person who got hit got penalized, and the person who did the hitting and caused the whole thing, nothing happens to? To that day, that still happens a lot. Just watch some of the bigger streamers who stream Gran Turismo 7 constantly complaining about it. Was only really one person running his mouth. He caused the damage. We will get past it. Who knows? Greed politics is to release the game within time frame. Studio doing a game. Publisher rushing them. Always. Always. Ask yourselves this question. Just ask yourselves this question. Do you think the developers, the guys making the game, had zero pushback on release? Or maybe, just maybe, again, I don't know these things, but maybe they wanted an extension and the publisher didn't. Who do you think gets majority vote in a decision like that? If Call of Duty comes out unfinished, do you think Treyarch didn't know that and wanted an extension? but they have a window of time they have to get something done, and the publisher said, no, release it, what do you think happens? Turn on the PC and yell at your wife, girlfriend instead. Exactly. Well, I wouldn't yell at her. I would just, you know. This is what's great about streaming, too. And this is where I really like Dr. Disrespect's sort of mentality, is that he will lean into the chaos and the anger because it's therapeutic. So, like, rather than, like, going, I gotta be an adult. Well, the character he's created allows him to go, oh, I'm angry, so I'm going to amplify it 100% for the sake of I have a character to create. So, in that sense, for what I'm doing here, when I get angry, I just let it out. GT7 penalty is a joke coming from someone that loves GT7. Exactly. I mean, you're right, maybe some ghosting, I don't know. Just a video game. This is a racing simulator. Agreed. This is a racing simulator. We are elitists. Yeah, unfortunately, developers never have that power. Dummies. They never do. It's the same way, like, so my personal experience in this while not developing video games was building submarines. And when I was building submarines, I was the guy on the floor doing the work. I was a grunt. The higher-ups and the engineers had all the say. Engineers would come down on the floor and tell us how to do our job because their CAD profile says something different. It's like, cool, your CAD profile says just go weld that gusset over there. Cool. That's cool. Awesome. Except you see the giant steel wall in the way of the gusset that I can't effectively ghost my way through to weld it? Yeah, what do I do about that? What does your CAD profile say? Oh yeah, maybe you should change the order of operations on your end? Yeah, see, now we have to, if we want to do that, cut a hole in this structure here so we can go do that and then re-weld that hole. Well, who pays for that time? Yeah, we just got to do it faster. How is referencing another game deflection? The game has the problem. I'm not saying it shouldn't have the features. But when people glaze another game and penalize another game for the exact same issue, 100%, it is a reference point. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole with that person because I already know where that's going to go. Anyway, 75% AI. Here we go. Let's test out AI at 75%. Alright, so still a little slower in these S-curves. I like using the Nordschleife for this test because it's harder to pass them. A lot less opportunity. Also, one thing that this patch really brought in that was really good, really welcomed, was just dialing in the radar. I personally have yet to find a scenario where the radar has lied to me, whereas on the 1504 patch where they first implemented radar, There were lots of scenarios where it says I wasn't in an impact range with the AI, but I was hitting the AI. Or vice versa. They were still yellow on my screen. So it does seem like they've at least addressed that. Now, there might be still some scenarios where that happens. I personally haven't experienced it yet. So comment below. Also, where do we think the AI should stand at 100%? What level of driver should you have to beat AI at their best? Should they be a challenge for the average competitor, and if you're above average, you can win at 100%? Or should they be requiring you to be damn near perfect in the top 1%ers? What should it take to beat the AI? Oh, risky move! Oh no! It's alright, I got out of it okay. And I will say, in that particular scenario, 50% of the people are going to say the AI isn't good because that should have backed off. And the other people would say, if the AI backed off, that's not accurate. They give it up too easy. You can't please everybody. That's what I've learned in any industry. That's why the expression exists. If you aim to please everyone, you will please no one. That's why my sort of philosophy on like game development, or anything for that matter, is everybody has a vision for what their product should be. At the end of the day, you should stick to your vision, and then also take into account what other people are doing. And maybe, just maybe, you'll pick up some things that go, you know what? They just did it better than what I thought. So maybe I'll implement that particular scenario into my vision, because I do like what they did better. But you don't want to just completely lose sight of what your vision is in the sake of just making another game, for the sake of referencing games here. Whoa, Jesus. We got it. Also, the 1505, or for console players, 1506, they are the same patch, by the way. 1506 is just a hot fix to fix the 1505 FPS issue. However, it does seem like the overall tires got a buff in terms of their longevity. For example, if you notice, mind you, we're racing in the wintertime right now. But if you notice, my tires are still relatively cool. Whereas even up before, on winter, they would be overheating right now. So it almost, the game essentially would either, unless you're doing like a 1-lap sprint on a short race, or 2-lap sprint on a short race, it would kind of force you to just only race mediums. Whereas now it feels like, okay, now the softs have a little bit of time underneath them where I could, do some racing. So we had overall less impacts with the AI at 75%. Now, some of that could have been my driving as well. Obviously, I wasn't trying to crash them and the later half of the race for the sake of just testing out how they respond to being hit. However, it could also be, too, maybe it scales. So, one thing that is not implemented in this game that is in things like AMS2 is multiple breakdown of how the AI runs. So you have a mistake slider, so how many mistakes they make. You have their overall skill set, how fast they are around the track, and then you have their aggression. So they could be slower but more aggressive, or, you know, less aggressive but faster. Or you could crank the sliders up and they're weapons, you know? Where in this case, there's only one slider. So I feel like everything is sort of hidden behind that one slider, where they'll get more aggressive, they'll make less mistakes, as well as they'll be overall faster as you scale the number up. Now, maybe I'm just speculating, I don't know. But I will say that experience at 75%, from an accident standpoint, was much smoother. We had the one accident there in that little hairpin where I made a very aggressive move, and the AI kept its lane, and it made an aggressive move back, and we had a pretty good contact. But so far, that was pretty smooth. Now we're going to try 100%. After I look at chat quick. Let's see. I'd like to see a lobby chat or let us run track while we wait. So I do believe they have, I'm speculating. Again, everything I say is speculatory because nothing is official until it's official. But I do believe it is in the works to have join in progress added. They have actually quite a few. So there were quite a few things that were going to be in this patch that they didn't have time to properly test and, you know, make sure everything was dialed in. So they didn't put it in this patch, whereas they plan on putting it in the next patch. What comes out then, I don't know. But I do know at some point join in progress is planned to be implemented, which is a big one. Chat, I don't know if they really fully intend to add chat. I don't know that yet. Let's see. Sounds like a skill issue. EJ, get good. Exactly. I definitely need to get good. It's the same in Denmark. How's the update? Just got here. Don't kill me. You're good. You're good. No, I mean, so I'm still running the same update that I was running from Friday because I am playing on PC. But this is essentially what the new update is that came out today for PS5. Or sorry, for consoles in general, Xbox and PS5. So I'm just reviewing it because it's the same thing. And I did test it before getting on stream on my PS5 Pro to confirm the hotfix fixed the problem. You kind of missed the day one murder bots. Oh, man. Also, I'm going to plug myself one more time before I continue. If you're new around here, or if you're not new around here, but if you're here and you haven't liked the stream, that's all I'm saying. Helps the algo. And if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, well, I would say that helps you get notified of future content, but I don't really actually think that does anything anymore. So it'll make bigger number better, and we all know bigger number better, so I would appreciate it very much. Thank you. All right, so let's see. Let's look at some of these comments here. At 100%, they should be in it to win it. So if you are not past their door, they shouldn't make any kind of room for you. Okay, okay. So you essentially, Eagles, want them to follow them at 100% be the perfect real-life racer, essentially, is what you're saying, where they attack when they should attack, they follow their lines when they should follow their lines, and you know, they don't break the etiquette rules that are not really rules, but it's etiquette. Just played on standard PS5, new patch, better game, but still needs controller fix for understeer. Great game otherwise. What's funny is that I couldn't stop oversteering on controller when I played this morning. So, and I play on all default settings. So, this could potentially be a he said, she said user preference scenario. Day one AI didn't let you through, had to be careful, pick your spot. Now when you get close to an AI, they give up and drop off. 100% should be hard to hard for most. Only because going above 100% to satisfy those that find it easy would annoy my brain too much. Gotcha. Let's see. Maybe if you're aggressive to them, they'd be more aggressive back. Sophie AI is like that. So it's a lot like, I still think iRacing has the best AI. Their adaptive AI is extremely intuitive on the fly. Now, does that mean it is the best? Or I think it's the best? I think it's the best. They don't really hit you at all, ever. But do I think it's realistic? So, this is a question I have to ask people a lot. Do you want your AI to be realistic or be good? Because I don't think they're one and the same. If you were to jump into any sim online and race in a ranked race, or even not even a ranked race, just race online in general, in my opinion, that is realistic. And I think it's some of the most reckless driving you're going to see in all of sim racing, is online against other human beings. Now, sometimes you get good, clean, nice races. A lot of the times you don't. So, what do we want the AI to duplicate? The perfect scenarios, the average scenarios, or the worst case scenarios? What do we think is the most realistic possible scenario? Now, I do like adaptive AI in general because it adapts to you, but that really only adapts to your speed and your aggression, and not so much like sort of how they act. And by that I mean, do they just crash into you? Do they avoid you? Stuff like that. Do you know if telemetry will be implemented on console? That I have zero idea. Would keep the people in the lobby if we could do something and then just wait. What I was thinking. Zolder was fixed. Zolder is mostly fixed. There are still some track limits that, all throughout the game in general, the track limits substantially better than what it was. The penalty system is substantially better than what it was. Still some tweaks, and that's going to be just endless knob turning. Realistically, outside of a couple of small track limit adjustments, I don't think the penalty system is in a place where it should be the priority. Keep on dialing. If you have a guy who has nothing to do, who specializes in that, have them dial, have them tweak. But there are other things, in my opinion, that need to go to the forefront. You like ACC's AI? I find ACC's AI almost boring, though. Then again, I find outside of ACC's driving simulator, meaning I'm making a solo run in a car, I don't find a whole lot of fun in ACC. That's just my own personal preference, though. I like it as a sim where I get in it and I do a time trial or I drive a car. But other cars on the road, be it real players or AI. I don't know. I disconnect at some point. All right, so the AI is now maxed. Let's do one more test in this exact same scenario with 100% AI. All right, AI, 100%. Nordschleife, 1 lap. 20-car grid. Turn 1, always miserable in every track, in every sim. Race Room especially, oddly. It's weird. They have adaptive AI, their AI is good, but turn 1, I don't know what happens every time. Oh, hello. Good brakes. All right, gotta wait for a clean moment here, which is the hardest part on the Nordschleife. Finding a clean point to pass. That's right, you give it up. You give it up. Seems as you work your way up the pack, they do seem to increase in speed. It's almost like there's a scale. Oh boy. That was risky. Oh! Monica! I don't know why I said Monica there, but... How old do we think Monica is now? It's been like, what, 25 years? I very much like it, by the way, when AI makes mistakes. That is something that I've always liked to be sort of coded into AI. I want the AI to feel human. I don't want them to be perfect, but I do want them to be, like, good. But I want them to make mistakes. I want them to push and go too hard, you know? Now, if they're going in a dead straight line and they just drive into a wall, it's going to take a little bit more to fool me that it was a mistake. And for the sake of comparison, by the way, the average PMR player cannot beat me on the Nordschleife. Schleife. I gotta get that through my head. Gotta pronounce the E. So I can tell you that the average player, learning this game especially, will struggle for sure with AI at 100%. I'm only in 13th out of 20. And the AI, I've noticed, is getting more difficult the higher up the pack I go. Except for that guy, I don't know what he just did. He just decided to hit the brakes. Maybe he got a little stage fright coming over that hill. I don't know. Alright, see if I can do anything in the back stretch here. We'll see how the AI at 100% scales in a straight line. Because I don't think I'm in any kind of draft right now, so let's see what they look like. Looks like I might have a little bit of mile an hour on them, but not a whole lot. Or kilometers an hour, if you're not an Imperial. I probably got 2, maybe 3 miles an hour on them tops. And now I'm in their draft for sure. So for the most part, that was fairly decent driving, minimal mistakes, and we came in, looks like 12th place out of 20 in one lap on the Nordschleife Sprint. So I did 6:47. No, wait, hold on. Sorry. I did 6:57, I apologize. So from a standing start, the one lap sprint, I did 6:57. If this was like a second lap, that would probably be 10 to 12 seconds faster. I want to say the fastest I've been in the Mustang is 6:42. And then getting my face off here just so we can compare. The AI's lap did 6:47. So you can see here, if you notice, at 100%, this was the lap time of the number 20 guy. This is the lap time of the number 1 guy. 7 minutes, 12 seconds versus 6 minutes, 47 seconds. So you're looking at 25 seconds difference lap time. And as you can see, with the exception of me, they get a little bit faster as you go up the grid. To me, right now, the AI is in a pretty solid place, at least for GT3 testing. So, have fun in single player. So far, making some good progress. No, you cannot turn off the sun rays that hit the windshield. I do think from a graphic standpoint, the game very much needs more like post-processing checkboxes to like turn things off like that. But again, I find it important to remind you guys to not overwhelm the devs with like small time requests like that. Like I agree, I do want the ability to turn things like that off, but from a priority standpoint, like there's much more pressing issues. And they're doing a good job, in my opinion, of navigating priorities. They are focused on hitting the core problems while very, very slight knob tweaking and polishing of other issues. The AI in the Porsche also had a pretty bad race. He went 7 places back. I think that was that one of the guys that spun out? Oh no, that was the Lambo, right? That spun out. Monica is definitely a grandmother now. Exactly. All right, so for the sake of, we're going to do one more test. That exact same race, one more time. We're going to see how quick I can get to the front of the pack at the AI at their dumbest. Which is still not easy on the Nordschleife because there's just minimal, especially in the beginning of the race, there's very minimal opportunity to pass. But for the sake of, we've tested medium hard, and we've tested maximum. Let's just test minimum, just see where we're at. I'm just curious. What time, Oil Slick? That's the biggest thing. I won't be able to get on till later. I won't be able to get on my at the last week, guys. When all the streaming I did was an anomaly. That won't be like that all the time. I try and stream when I get spare time, but my focus is a morning and an evening stream. And by evening, depending on what time frame you're at, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I got on a little early today because they bumped the patch, so I wanted to talk about it. Patches and updates are my favorite thing to stream about, by the way. As much as I do like playing video games in general, I like nerding out over what's been updated. What did they change? Has it improved? Have things not improved? What details can I find? Things like that. Oh, hit the brakes too hard there. Recovered, though. Yeah, these guys are pretty slow right now. Oh, my God. All right. Calm down, buddy. Calm down. It's going right over the grass. It says screw. It's my race. That's what I have to say to you. Oh, I missed. I missed the pit. All right, back to clean racing. Oh, that was a risky move. Oh, no. Whoa, whoa, whoa! We definitely glitched right there. I don't know which direction we gotta face. Oh, hell, I guess it's that way. Yeah, we definitely went to another dimension for a brief second there. Oh, wait. We're going that way. Alright, we're going this way. Helps, I guess, to put the map on sometimes, huh? Alright, we're gonna restart that. Since, any shot we had of actually passing them is now gone. Yeah, I won't be able to get on that early. But thanks for the invite, I appreciate it. Wednesday nights are the only nights I might be able to get on earlier, because they're my quote-unquote game night. Yeah, unfortunately, I do have a lot of, like, love for ACC. But, like, I remember I was saying about how the racing isn't fun. I don't like the single-player racing. The AI is just too, like, they don't make, there's no character to the AI. And the online play is a bunch of buffoons. It's got some of the worst people in like, multiplayer right now. It's just super, it is what it is, unfortunate. I'll never not like ACC. I'll always have it, obviously. But I do think the online play, like that's, pause real quick. I always see the metric of the people online playing on ACC, which is far higher than this. But even though right now the quality of the online play in terms of like the people playing it is getting better, because in the very beginning, like I couldn't lose a race in this game. Like if I would go online, I would win no matter what lobby I was in. And I notice now there's a lot more skill in the lobby. So that's good. It means it's growing. It's getting more competitive. But ACC, my literal strat for ACC, do not qualify, be in the back of the pack, and just pass everybody as they crash. And I almost all the time get to top 5 by just doing slow, steady solo laps. Because I just pass everybody when they crash, because they all crash. It's kind of crazy how bad the online play is in ACC right now. A buddy of mine, the guy that I had in my sim testing all the games, ACC is still his favorite driving simulator. But he can't play it because of how bad the online play is. Like, there's just nothing, it's awful online. And I agree. So, as this game gets polished, here's what I'm saying. Die-hard sim guys, you stop looking at the past. Past is the past. Look at the future. The game is progressing in a great direction. Stop just pushing back against that. Push forward. We're getting good updates. Period. When these guys make a mistake, they have made several mistakes with their patches. The last patch, 1504, or technically 1503, broke all the upscaling in this game on PC. A day later, 1504 hotfix came out, fixed it all back to the way it was, while still implementing all of the updates from 1503, the positive updates. Then 1505 comes out. No back steps, in my opinion, on PC. I think everything on PC is now better than it was. Some people might disagree. That's fine. Everybody has their opinion. I like to think I'm a very fair person, and I think everything done pushed the needle forward. However, it broke the frame rate on console. Now, unfortunately, they made the mistake of releasing on a Friday, which is always good because the most amount of time is played on Friday. However, in this particular instance, the game console was not properly tested, and it broke the frame rate. However, first thing Monday morning, at least for the US people, patch is good, hotfix update, ready to go. We're right back where we were. So, yes, if they do go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, they immediately correct the 1 step back and get it right back. So, while that can be frustrating in the moment, be happy that that support is there right now. If they keep on patching, they keep on updating, I think the frequency of patches will decrease as the game gets more polished, as that makes the most sense. Less of a reason to rush a patch out there because the game-breaking bugs are diminishing, you know? But overall, push for progress. This game, from my experience, is so much better than day one, and it's been... what time? Let's see, where we at? We're still 6 days shy of 2 months release. And the game is already substantially better. Let's stop pushing back against that. Let's help them push forward. Let's have fun. That's what I'm doing. Having some fun. I'm going to shut the hell up, and I'm going to go race and bully some dumbass AI. Hopefully I don't teleport, though, to the Nether Realm. Oh, yeah, they backed off super quick right there. Let's see when I can get to first place. That's the goal right now, is to just drive my way to first place in a hurry. I think the console players that were really hating the way the AI couldn't be damaged, like you couldn't take them out, are really going to appreciate this update. Because I primarily played custom lobby multiplayer. That was my best way to have fun in this game, is host lobbies and stuff like that. But a lot of the guys that were playing single player career mode and stuff hated how you just couldn't beat the AI, because they would punt you, or they would make contact with you, you would go flying and they would stay on their line. Now, it feels a lot more honest, where if the AI still might hit you, however, they'll take themselves out in the process. Oh! Up, 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 up. All right. Oh, okay. Getting a little aggressive, eh? Don't ya know? Ugh. You're all way too slow. Get out of my way. I'm just gonna drive like twisted metal. Screw it. Also, if you guys see anything weird happening and I might not see it, point it out or at least question it. And then maybe I did see it and I thought it was normal, or we'll have a conversation either way. If you see anything going on, let me know. All right, there's the pack leaders right there. Excuse me. Wow. That's how we handle slow people. Come on, buddy, move. I'm gonna try and pit this guy. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't know why. Yeah, that's right. That's right, buddy. You give it up. Alright, we're in first place. But anyway, that was fairly easy to get in front of all the guys. As it should be. We're at their slowest or lowest difficulty. And that might have been probably one of the more sloppier laps that I've done today. For the sake of comparison, though, let's see how much slower I went, or how much the AI slowed me down. Because obviously, you can't just pass the AI whenever you want. So if they're going slower, they're slowing you down. So I'm just curious. I did 6:57 last lap. Let's see what they do now, or what I do now. Obviously, I'm going to finish this lap like I'm trying. For the sake of getting rid of the rays. Look how much like clearer everything looks when you're not looking through the windshield. Whew. That crack was in there. All right, what do we think we did here? All right, there you go. Since you guys can't see it, the AI slowed me down by about 17 seconds. We did 6:57. Now we did 7:14. So Dancing with the AI at 100%, I ran the exact same race, 657. Dancing with them at 20%, 714. So clearly they're, and like, here you go, here are the times, perfect. So 730 was the fastest AI. 751 was the slowest AI. So they shot, that guy went what, 647, I believe? So they were, you know, arguably 43 seconds slower. That's a lot. 43 seconds on one lap of the Nordschleife, a difference. Quite a range right there, if you ask me. All right, let me jump back over to chat here. Am I going to turn the FPS counter on or what? Why you got to ask it like that? I'm going to say it. Diehard sim fans with setups the price of a small apartment are the Karens of gaming. Damn. I would love having a replay option like in motorsports to avoid like restarting every time we've been kicked out. Yeah, in time. So 1506 is just the, if you notice, we'll show you here. Right there. 1505 is what we're playing on PC. 1506 is just the proper version of 1505 for console. I think what needs to be highlighted is that AMS2 has been in constant refinement for years to get it to the state that it's in today, which is great. I agree. Let's hope PMR gets that same treatment. There's no doubt in my mind, if this game gets progressed through 7 years, we're going to have something insane. But the question is, where is everything else going to be in 7 years, you know? So, yeah. But, no doubt, AMS2 was not an overnight what it is. That took time. Good, I can start what I bought the game for, career mode. Gotcha. Hope they dial in default. That's what I mean, what do you mean by default? Because, like, this is what I'm running. Controls. Simagic. Warning, don't die. Alright, so my global gain is 100%. My low force boost is 20. My brake feel boost is 30, which I believe is factory. Smoothing 0. Headroom 50. So headroom essentially just shortens the peak range so that when you hit walls and stuff, it doesn't break your arms. While the 100% gain gives you a nice range of all detail. But that's... I could put the headroom back to 100% and get all of it. I could lower this. Like, overall, I wouldn't really consider that to be anything outside of normal in terms of getting to my own personal force feedback. And I think the force feedback is phenomenal. My frame rate currently... So I did a lot of testing yesterday. I get... With the so remember, the AI is the thing that ultimately hurts your frame rate the most because of its attack on the CPU. But on max settings on DLSS, I was getting unlocked anywhere from 150 to hitting the frame rate limiter at 180. However, AI, the more AI I would put in, the obviously towards the lower side that would be. And I would get occasional dips under 150 with a full grid. Now, DLAA drops about 20 to 30 frames. And if I stream, I drop about 20% of my frames. Let's see. Let me just try to read these in some order here. The new patch upgrade graphics on console. I can't unfortunately answer that. They look decent, but I mean, I want to say they're slowly... Again, there's not going to be anything that's like an overnight one patch. The graphics are perfect. It's going to be just a dialing things in over time. So each patch will make small tweaks. Like, I can't tell you a single patch on PC that, like, made the graphics better. But I can tell you on 1505 versus 1500, it's a night and day difference. But I couldn't tell you which patch without, I can't go back into previous builds and play them to really, figure out which patch changed what in what. I can just tell you right now versus then, we've come a pretty long way in a short amount of time. And the same thing is happening on console. Consoles are just playing with less horsepower, so they have to kind of articulate what they change differently. They're mostly trying to refine CPU usage on both systems, but the biggest thing that hurts console is they're running, even when PS5 OG came out in 2020, it didn't have a current gen CPU. It had a previous gen CPU, and now we're at, what's it at? It's a 2000 series Ryzen that's in a PS5. Now, I'm on a 9000 series. Now, obviously, that hasn't been year for year because they've skipped a couple numbers. Like, it went from 7000 to 9000 and 5000 to 7000. They skipped 4000 because that was iGPU stuff. So, it went second gen, this is what PS5 is on, then third gen, then fifth gen, then seventh gen, then ninth gen. So, or 9000s, I'm sorry. So, we are 5 generations old on the CPU side of things. 4 to 5 generations old compared to PC. So, that hurts the console stuff quite a bit. Won't miss roasting your tires. Good. Let's see. The devs managed to fix the weird headlights in the car at night bug. I haven't been able to play PMR for a few weeks. I don't know. I'll explore that. I would go ahead and say probably not, but maybe. I know they've been, like I said, the whole speech I just gave about them slowly twisting knobs is going to be the same thing. It's not just going to be like a light switch, pun intended, with the headlights. It's going to take time, Is your look left and right when turning on 100? And is your car movement on 100? Thanks. I don't know. It's on default. I'll tell you that. Oh. What's that under? I don't even know. Matcher 7. I don't even know what to look for that. All right, so let's try career mode quick. Team name. Oh my God. It's a good team, right? Oh, that's right. Cockpit setup. That's right. I'll look at that in a sec. All right. Rolling billboard. All right, let's look at these models here because I have no clue. What model do you guys want me to go with? Sponsorship. You're paid a flat amount per race, and the amount is based on the prestige of the car you're racing. Your performance doesn't matter with this model. You are rolling billboard and nothing more. This is the safest sponsorship model for racers looking for a predictable influx of cash. Got it. That sounds boring. Competitive. You're paid a slightly higher flat fee per race that's derived from the prestige of the car you're racing, but there's a catch. You're only paid if you finish on the podium. This option is best for consistent drivers who anticipate great results in the upcoming season and desire a predictable payout to balance their books. All right, okay. The better player. A model tailored... Oh, hold on. Ambassador. A model tailored for respectful drivers. You're paid a flat fee per race regardless of your finishing position so long as you bring the car home with no damage. This model is ideal for drivers who exhibit a great deal of sportsmanship and expect few troubles out on the racetrack. That's not me. So event fees covered, you say, is the best. Okay. The brand agrees to pay your championship fee at the start of the season, as well as the race entry fee. To compensate for them paying your entry fees up front, the brand takes a pretty major cut of your championship winnings at the conclusion of the season. Ideal for drivers who want to punch above their weight and enter a championship they can't quite afford yet. Okay, that's not bad. Winner! In the event you win the race, the brand matches your earnings. Ideal for ambitious drivers for whom winning is habitual. Okay, well, that's not me. Champion. In the event you win the championship, the brand matches your earnings from the final championship purse. Ideal for drivers who feel the championship is a certainty. Let's see if your skills can match your confidence. Okay. Aggressor. The brand covers the amount of your damage repair expensive, but you would agree to provide some sort of ROI by handling them a portion of your race winnings. A safety net for drivers who are aware of their aggressive tendencies or are entering a class with an elbows-out brand of racing. I'm on the offense. Do I want it's pace. If you both qualify on pole and set the fastest lap during the race, the brand matches the pay of the race winner. The best option for those who want to chase the record books. Gotcha. I'm never the pace guy. All right, so I'm either on aggressor or event fees covered. What do we think? What do we think? Aggressor? All right, we'll do with that. Aggressor it is. I like the event fees covered one too, but I have the feeling I'm going to be aggressive. So confirm that. Start budget. 2,100,000. Well, I want to do GT3. I want to do a GT3 career. So 650 seems like the one I want to go with. 2 million just seems like I can do whatever I want and get away with it. So we'll stick with that. Go authentic, race 1x. Yep, I want race times to be as normal as possible. And authentic forces 100% difficulty, so why the hell not? Alright. We already know what I'm going to pick. Although I could pick the OP, the gangster. Appreciate that, Phoenix Gaming. No Morick says, just drive. I will just drive if you just subscribe. You make a demand, I make a demand. I think for the sake of this car is a bit easier to drive, and there are a lot of tracks that I just don't know. Audi did get a nerf a tiny bit. You know, I'm going to stick to what I know. I don't care. It is what it is. I have a starter set up for this car, so let's get me in my car. All right, 207,000 left in reserve. Next event. What do we got? All right, so GT3 World Championship is a holy mother of God. Okay, we're going to not do that one. United States GT3 Series. All right. Entry fee 42,000. German GT3 Masters. That's up my I like my Nürburgring, just saying. I'm gonna go Germany. All right, so Nürburgring, Spielberg, or Zolder. Nice. Well, let's try it out. I'm going to use the bathroom quick. I'm going to prep myself a G Fuel. We're going to get to it. Alrighty. Alrighty. Alright, so some of y'all are going to hate me for this. I don't care. I don't know this track, sadly. I know the Nordschleife, but I don't know the GP track. So I need to learn my lines, and I'm going to use the assist line to help me build a line a little bit quicker. Sorry if that offends anybody, but I'm also not sorry at all. Alright. Alrighty. Oh, where was the, real quick, you said, oh, that's right, cockpit. Let's see. Durka. Why do I always forget where that is? Oh, duh, right there. Okay, so I'm glad you threw up. Hope you threw up everywhere. Hope you made a mess. Hope I ruined your day by turning the line on. Camera movement. Okay, so where were the numbers again? All right, here. 100 on turning. Pre-look speed 100. There you go. This is what I have it on. This is all default, so I'm not going to touch anything. All right. Enough dilly-dallying. Oh, Jesus. Great start. Trying to move my mouse around here. All right. Alright, second gear there for sure. God, I hate this track. Kind of why I'm sort of driving it, just kind of get it over with. Here's the thing. There's literally nothing wrong with using the line. Like, literally nothing. Also, if you actually care about what other people think, you're already making a mistake. So, I live in the world of pettiness. It's sort of like my specialty. So, like, if the second someone who I don't know tells me not to do something, I focus on solely doing it. Like, driving terribly. Jesus. feel like I should probably be on mediums. Let's jump over to mediums. Turn to pit. Get me on some mediums. They're going to be better off there. Because I can feel the tires are already getting a little extra loose. You just remember, folks, don't let strangers tell you what to do. Just either ignore them or, you know. Sometimes I like to address the idiots because it's content. It's fun. Also, I like to play mental gymnastics every once in a while. You know? Try and stretch the parts of my brain I don't use very often. The irrational stuff, you know? Also, the week of the 28th through the 3rd, I will be taking part in the Creator Series of Rennsport. I'll be racing every day randomly. I don't have a schedule yet, but I will be obviously streaming around all of those. So that particular week will be another one of those weird anomalies where I stream every single day. So you're going to get to see me lose every single day. Yay. Out of random curiosity, which this has nothing to do with sim racing, but it is sort of racing. Do any of you guys follow any of the land speed events or like the Texas Mile or Half Mile or anything like that? Oh, Jesus. I got to figure out that S-curve. I'm really bad at that one. What are my thoughts on Rennsport handling versus PMR? I like them both. Rennsports is objectively easier, which is a nice sort of dopamine hit of like, you know, you can kind of crush it. How realistic that is, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it airs up more on the side of unrealism. But overall, it feels good. Like, I like the driving in Rennsport. But this is definitely more of a... I think this is a better... it's better solo and race experience. But Rennsport does have a really good race experience overall. It's hard to say. I don't think I can easily answer that. I'd have to spend a lot more time in Rennsport to give it a real fair shake. I do enjoy Rennsport. I just don't play it as much because there's not enough to do. Truly, there's not enough to do. Jesus, that was bad. That's a track cut for sure. No further action required, though. I'll take my freebie right there. It's called a mulligan. I don't think I'm going to get another one of those. EJR the GOAT. That is not good. Oh, I'm 3 seconds behind first place. It's only not crazy terrible. I prefer PMR over Rensport, but in my opinion, Rensport more like ACC and Drive. Like right now, this is what I can objectively say. Rensport has a better ranked competitive system right now, for sure. Their entire game, but that's the thing. That's their only model right now. So the only thing I think Rensport is doing, content-wise, I do think is better than PMR. But PMR has way more content and does a lot of things better than Rensport. So they're two very different games in terms of their racing dynamic. All right, let's go qualify. My honest answer is that I don't think it's fair to compare either game to the other one because they're two different of games. Rensport is doing what do you call it does? LMU. They're not doing WEC, but their gaming model is the same. Online ranked play only. I like Rensport's system for online play better than LMU, I'll say that. It's just easier to get into a race and do some racing. And I know the diehard, super duper crazy sim racers want the complexity, they want the confusion, they want to master that. That's where they thrive. But for the casual guy that also is competitive, which is me, I overall like Race Room and Rensport have damn near identical models for their ranked play online. Race Room has a bit more because they have weekend races and championships and stuff. But the fact that, hey, there's a race in 2 minutes, I'm going to jump in. In both the games, you can do that. LMU, there's a lot more waiting around, which in turn triggers a lot more frustration when you get killed in lap 1 or turn 1, lap 1. But take my opinion of LMU with a grain of salt because it's way too popular to listen to me. Judge it for yourself. Oh, shit. Well, it's an outlap, so it doesn't matter anyway. Alright, so I know I gotta slow down a bit more for that little chicane there. Think I like this more than bike racing? I do. Absolutely do. It's not even close. All the fun, none of the risk? Are you kidding me? Doesn't even compare. Although I am going to be chasing some personal best mile per hour with the Busa this year. But I'm only doing it at a sanctioned event. Need a controlled environment. I do not trust anything. Oh, it's cheaper, but you'd be surprised how expensive this gets too. Every hobby, really the only thing that's cheaper or can range in how expensive it is the barrier to entry. At the flagship end of the totem pole, it's all unaffordable, no matter what you do in life. Spoon collecting is unaffordable, depending on how far you go with it. So, but for reference, the crankshaft in my Busa motor costs the same as my 5090. Billet 9mm stroker crankshaft and a bunch of silicon that can technically control the world from a processing standpoint. Point is, they cost the same. Alright, 200. I know the AI is gonna just flabbergast me after I return to the pit, but I don't really care. Let them do their thing. I want to talk to chat for now. Quite the diplomatic answer. That's how I view everything, man. I can't hate another game because I like something else better. I'm not that person. I understand. Maybe it's just because I'm older, but I just know that there's an ass for every seat, you know? And I am just one cog in the wheel of capitalism, and all the games are fun. I have all of them. LMU might someday be fun for me, but they gotta change. They gotta add some things, you know? But anyway, not go down that rabbit hole. Project Motor Racing definitely needs road. The Project Motor Racing does need a lot of tracks. I will say that we're missing we don't have we don't have Watkins Glen. That's like one of my favorite tracks. I didn't even realize until the other day that this game doesn't have Watkins Glen. But I don't know what track. I know we're gonna get Le Mans soon. That's the next track, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, my sim rig is about, with everything I have here, obviously not including the power source, the computer, or the panel, but just the rig itself with all the controls and everything I've done to it is about 6,500. And a lot of the stuff I've done is extra, clearly. But I mean, mind you, this here was sent to me. I didn't pay for this. This is the only thing I haven't paid for. This is $550 at its current reduced price. I want to say these retailed at like $700 before they were reduced in price. But it adds up so quick. Have I done a walkthrough of my sim setup yet? No, I have not. I will. I do plan to start making more actual videos related to hardware, walk around stuff, not so much just my focus is video games, because at the end of the day I want this to be more of a gaming channel. Like I'm embracing the live streaming system and making videos around that. However, I do want to make some hardware videos as well, especially as I start becoming affiliates of different companies and stuff like that. I do, just like reviewing video games, I like reviewing everything, you know? Now, it's just harder to review a piece of hardware because I actually have to put more effort into the filming process. Do you think the devs hope people would mod tracks? Maybe. Maybe. I honestly don't know. I spent more on Pokemon, fishing, RC racing, motorcycles. Exactly. Is there plans for PMR to get VR on console? Does anyone know? I don't believe there is. I don't know, though. I'm thinking VR is strictly going to be a PC goal. Yes, I do have a stick shift. I have an H-pattern sequential combo from Simagic, which, this, in my opinion, I haven't moved, like, I do think that, what's that super expensive shifter they have? The one that's got all the haptics built in. It's like $2,000 or something. I haven't tried that one yet. I'm sure that's the best one, without a doubt. But of all the ones I have tried, the Fanatec one, the Moza one, the Simagic one here, I do think this Simagic one is the best from a feel standpoint. And the fact that it's a combo from H pattern to sequential is just that much nicer. It feels the most notchy, like I put it in gear and I didn't just move the shifter to the next spot, you know? The biggest thing about a lot of features that a lot of people are requesting for this game is the game also has to survive its 1 year life. Like, its 1 year planned season one, or year one, sorry, is going to determine if it continues or dies. That's the end. This game isn't going to die inside of a year. I don't think. I don't see it. I just don't. But where it's at the end of the year, and I think the public sentiment is very much going to determine its future from that point forward. We need Road America, Watkins, Laguna Seca, Suzuka, Indianapolis. Watkins, Glen, and Laguna would probably be my priorities. Suzuka's good for a lot of people. It's not my personal favorite, but I get why people would want it. Indianapolis, I don't really have much of an opinion on. But, Watkins Glen is my favorite short track. Period. Real quick, I want to see something here while this is doing its overtime. Since we got a bike here, we got a bike guy here in chat. How fast do we think this is? I'm just curious, from a mile per hour standpoint. How fast do we think I'm going right here? How fast do we think I just went right there? Mile per hour wise. This is the roughly 270 horsepower NA Busa. Well, I'll say this. One of you two is right, and the other one is wrong. The question is, how right is the right person? And by the way, when I'm asking the time, it's GPS confirmed time, not... The Speedo said something or whatever. That's all nonsense. GPS or trap beams are really the only way to properly gauge a speed. Damn, Mike Nichols. That's the most accurate answer so far. It's 223. And that was a 1 mile pull. Alright, let's give this a shot. Put me in 15th, you sons of bitches. Already screwed up. Slept Slept my ass off. I always get nervous when I see red on my radar. Damn. I mean, I am pretty bad at this track, so if I gain any positions, I'll be kind of happy, if I'm being honest with you. Based off what I saw in the Nordschleife, I'll be happy if I gain any positions on this track. J.M. Clark, it was 223 in that video. Cut him off! Oh, aggressive. Poor driving. Oh no. Don't do that in real life. Or by real life I mean real people. Have a good one, Phoenix. Thanks for being here. Oh, Jesus, I knew that was a mistake. Yep. Son of a bitch. This ain't good. Yeah, we probably shouldn't have went with authentic. Because we're getting our ass kicked here. How hard should the AI be? Well, here you go. I really wanted to set them to 75, but I figured I'd be brave and go for 100. Yeah, it feels a lot better. A lot better. Do you know what builds you last played, Shadow? Like what the 5 numbers are in the top left corner when you last played? Release was 1500. So if we're comparing to that, then yes, we've come a long way in a short time, in my opinion. I still suck at it, but it feels better. I'm gonna try turning off the line for a minute here and try and drive this track without it, because not a good track for me. Gotcha. I think it's in a good place to buy. Are you on PC or console? I think it's in a good place to buy, but I mean, it still has its issues. They're not all gone, and that's gonna take some time. So if you want to try and buy a perfect game at launch, I'd say give it a shot in 6 months. But for now, bottom line is treat the game as if it is in. That was hard to say. As if it is in early access. I did request to the devs, this is something that I would like, but again, this is small time, remember. A bindable button for the HUD. Just be able to shut the HUD off. And then hit the button again and turn it all back on. Because there are times where I want the HUD on and I want the HUD off. And having to go into the menu to individually turn everything off every time is just leave it all on at that point. So I don't have the map on. I picked a really bad scenario for my first career. I hate the track, and the AI is kicking my ass because they're difficult. Look at replay alone. Replay and spectate by comparison to launch. And the thing about it too is that, like I was saying, I don't know when it kind of happened. Like I couldn't tell you what patch changed what visually, but each patch, again, twisting the knobs. So I like what AMS2 does, and I might actually show you that after this, that I use for braking zones. I primarily like to have the line off, but I like a braking zone indicator. For like tracks that I just don't know. And they do there's multiple ways that they implement braking. You can obviously have the line, which I think AMS2's line is pretty bad. It's super, super like soft. Has you brake way before you should brake and stuff like that. The line in this game is actually really good. That's why I use it. I use it a lot in this game, a lot more than in other games, because the line I find in this is actually a more ideal situation. A lot of the games just give you. Oh my god, I am a mess right now. A lot of games give you a line that's pretty bad. Yeah, I had a list that I made and I gave to the to Ryan, one of the devs, of just things that I've personally picked up on and stuff like that. I'm also trying to help solve the shadow pop-in, which might never go away. It's hard to say at this point. Shadow pop-in is a visible sort of nuisance to me. But that, unfortunately, might be part of the Giants engine and might be unchangeable. Time will tell. I don't know if I have the mental fortitude to do 6 more laps of this shit. Alright, you know what? I don't. I want to do more testing stuff. Because, yeah, that's whatever. It is what it is. I'll probably start a different career, honestly, and turn them back to, like, 75%. 100%, like, for me to learn tracks and the AI be 100%, I'm going to be in last place every single race. It's just me doing solo laps, so we'll figure that out soon. Let me jump over these comments here. You look back at videos from launch, and it's kind of crazy how far the game's moved. Yep, saw that. I just finished building my son's birthday present, a sim rig and cockpit, and bought all the most popular software. 5 of iRacing, LMU, TX, PTN. Which software is easiest to set up, please? I mean, SimHub is your go-to for a lot of things, but typically on the wheelbase stuff you use, I recommend the provided software that the whatever, like I use SimPro for Simagic stuff. I use SimHub for my haptics. I started using SimHub with lovely dashboard, so I wonder, do we know if Crew Chief supports Project Motor Racing? Very true, Arctic. Very true. Let me real quick. I want to show you what I mean by AMS2 with the braking indicator. It's a lot. It's more like a spotter, like in a rally game, where they tell you there's a left hand or a braking zone. It's basically just a little indicator. It says, "Hey, you got a hard," and it gives you like a green, yellow, red type indicator for how hard of a turn it's going to be. I'll show you what I mean, and then I'll jump back over to AMS2. It's these comments, folks, by the way, that are how you not get taken seriously. Rich Callahan. Worst flop I ever purchased. It's like driving a minivan by yourself because nobody else is in the lobby. What a disgrace. The studio should be blacklisted. Schmah. Humans. Alright, so surprisingly, I wish this game does. They don't have the Mustang. Alright, so I think it was this one, maybe. Either way. No crew chief. Dang. Because I don't know. I don't like having a shit ton of SimHub's not bad, but I don't like having a bunch of softwares running in the background every time I want to do something casual, you know? Like me, I only use SimHub in my haptics when I want the immersion. I don't use any of that when I'm streaming. I just play. It's also nice that SimPro works with... It doesn't work with PMR, which is a bummer. I have addressed it with them. So we'll see what comes of that, but... So pay attention. See that right there? Red... I mean, that was actually a very late one. I don't know why it popped up so late. That was a strange situation. Like right there, right? That tells me what's coming. It's like basically just a spotter. So I do not, for AMS2, I never use the line. The line's terrible. Oh my god. You know, it's funny. Even going from PMR to this game is so slidey. It's a crazy feeling, guys. This really is the slidiest sim. If you think that PMR feels slidey, you really need to drive AMS2 right after it. It'll make you want to get back to PMR in terms of its driving physics. I've learned that I can only play AMS2 fresh out of not playing anything. So I either have to play it first or by itself, but I can't play it after playing anything else. But for the sake of showing you the indicator, there it is. And that could actually be something that I could recommend to the devs as well. A little nice to have. Because I would leave that on forever. I would never turn that off. It's not a line. It's not telling you where to go and all of that. It's just saying, hey, yo, you got a turn coming up. This is the angle of the turn, you know? That's what I was saying. It's more like a rally setup. Like, oh, I definitely missed that chicane. But yeah, no, it's like a spotter and rally. It's exactly what it's like. My TC at? Just go. Turn it off, and then do a quick little donut. Guess I gotta pop the clutch. I don't want to do that. Rear tires are at 59 and 56C. I love having a dash on the wheel. SimPro, come on, man. I want that software to work. I don't want to rely on SimHub just for my telemetry and PMR. For my casual player experience, I want to boot up one software, not a bunch, you know? God, it's so slidey by comparison. This is a strange view that I oddly like. Not because it's like a good driving angle, but it's really cinematic. Like if you wanted to record anything or whatever. Let's get out of this. Now that you see what I'm talking about, that's the only reason I want to get back to PMR. But that was what I wanted to reference. That little sort of spotter indicator. Really nice feature, and it's simple. It's not invasive. It's not like the line where it just ruins the immersion the whole time. Because I'll admit, I hate the line from a visual standpoint. It's just like, oh, look, you got to tell. It's like training wheels. I get why people don't like it, but it obviously has its reasons to be there, you know? Well, here's the thing about that, Shadow. If it's just a small, like, cone or something like that, well, then just use the actual braking markers in the game, because they all have them. I mean, worst case scenario, you just pick a landmark, you know? But I get why you'd want it. Man, we're already 2.5 hours into this. We're flying here. Kind of wild, actually. Had to get my breakfast. All right, so what do I want to test? All right, you guys make a suggestion to me. What do you want to see me test for you from a single-player standpoint? Well, I get what you're saying, Shadow. But the thing is that at the end of the day, your line, your entry speed, all that stuff is going to determine where you brake. There's not just going to be one place you brake in all the time. So that's why you sort of just get used to where your line is and you pick a landmark, and that's your landmark. You know, a line on the road, whatever, a sign, a grain of sand, whatever it is. Have for cars to test. Bone apple teeth, nice. All right. Breakfast is out of the way at 11:30. All right. I haven't driven the... There's a lot of cars I got to test drive since the patch, because they did change some cars. So supposedly this class got changed around. And I kind of want to drive it. Since I almost got your mile per hour right, please suggest to dev to make it possible to fine-tune on track, not to be forced to go to the pits every time. What do you mean by fine-tune? Fine-tune what? Ah. All right. I want to test every AI at 75%. No, I lied. I want to test them all at 50%. Let's go... Gotta represent. All right, let's see. There is a programmable force feedback, I thought, though, or bindable, I mean. I could be wrong. Vehicle setup, tire and chassis. Yep, we're already good here. Good. All right, supposedly these cars got a driving buff. I actually really liked the way they drove before. So we're going to leave ABS on one, even though they don't have ABS. So sue me. No TC, though. Oh, whoops. Unfortunately, I can't touch on controller because I don't play this at all on controller. Ah, you guys were all just cutting the corner. Don't think it works? Gotcha. I'll bring that up. They've obviously already got it implemented. It just, for whatever reason, doesn't work. Whoa, hey ho, let's go. I love this Mercury Cougar. That might be a track limit. Yep. Oh, you bum ass, Evan. I only set it to 1 lap. I gotta do that again. Do 5-lapper. Real quick, I'm going to drive the Audi. I have not driven it in a long time. And since the patch supposedly changed it, let's try it out. So I did make a suggestion to one of the modders who is in here. He's up to himself if he wants to be known as that or not, or remain anonymous. But cars that I would like to very much see in this game are old school F1 cars. Of all kinds. V6 turbo, V12, whatever. If Art and Senna drove it, I want to drive it. All-wheel drive, baby. Oh, shit! Hey, oh, hey, easy, guys. Easy. It's all friendly. Oh, Jesus. Force feedback. Same, I need a livery. I don't know what the scoop is on liveries. Are they allowing custom liveries? like, with your names on them and stuff? Because I got all the branding for a livery. See, I'm actually a rear-wheel drive guy, so all-wheel drive for me is a little harder to drive. I live in oversteer, but manageable oversteer. That being said, though, this car is still a lot of fun. I just like the Mercury Cougar the best, though. Oh, Jesus! But did anybody see how easily I just punted him away? It's a good feeling in this game. Because before, you would have hit him and you would have bounced off the track and he would have kept going. I want to see if what happens when I pin it out of a corner. If it does any under or oversteer. Because obviously the Mercury Cougar is going to spin out from oversteer if I just floor it. Kind of went straight there. I imagine this car is going to understeer. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want, since this game lives in nostalgia, like, I don't want any modern day F1 cars. I mean, listen, it's not up to me, obviously, but I'm just saying for my own preference. Since this game lives so well in the old car era, perfect game to really nail some of the older F1 cars. Or open wheel cars, I should say, more so than F1. I wonder if they made the 300ZX any better. Woo! That's why I love the old cars. You can't do that in a GT3 car, man. Ah. Couldn't save that slide in iRacing, that's for damn sure. I want the car to oversteer, but it snaps back from understeer. Or from all-wheel drive, I mean. These cars are just so fun. I know the competition's with GT3, but... Yeah, we're back to PMR. I only wanted to show you the braking zone quick on AMS2. That's all I was on that for. Or the braking indicator, I mean. Yeah, these cars are fun. What are your guys' favorite cars in this? Class of cars. So who do I have to get to make me an EJR racing livery? Let's try out this 300ZX. This car sucked. Yeah, we'll stick to Sebring. Red Bull Ring. Keep it all comparable. Alright, is the 300ZX better than it was? Because this car was pretty bad before. Well, we know it's got straight line speed because I just drove right up the pack. You know what? I want to restart this because I want to edit this car. I can feel it swaying like a son of a bitch in the force feedback. So, vehicle setup, tire and chassis, max rear downforce, alignment boost back down to 80. And then, alright, that should be fine. Save setup. EJR, that's my setup. Okay, that's all she takes. That's all she needs. NGT is your favorite? I have the least amount of time in NGTs. Oof. Alright. Yes, sir, ETR. Yes, sir. Go wide this time instead of on the inside. But he's saying yep to Fue. Man just comes in here and says, yep. I've said 8 billion things, and he says, yep. Yep. Oh no. It's just the track. We don't... Woo! This car's got some horsepower. 850 to be exact. Or 750, sorry. No, maybe it's 850. I actually don't know. No, it's 750. Yes, I did. Excuse me. Dead game, bro. Dead game. Excuse me, but you're a dead game. I need to pass you now. I think I'm doing better than this than I was the Audi. What position did I come in when I was in the Audi? Oh shit. Oh shit! Spoke too soon. Still like my Cougar. Oh boy. Yeah, definitely going to first. Don't mind me. My brain's doing other things. I'm like, trying to figure out how to change things on the fly. Alright. That car, I'd say, is definitely better. Still kind of hard to drive, but it's better. It's better. RX-7 Z28. Good morning, Too Bad. Blow my nose quick. Console players, try this class out when you get home or wherever. Whenever you get back on, try out LMPs. We're going to do that right now. Highly, highly recommend this, what I'm about to do. LMPs have actually become one of my favorite cars to race in this, or favorite class of cars to race. Prior to this patch, they were far too lift-off oversteery for me. To the where I was just like, meh. 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 Alright, let's see. This car's already got set up. Yes, the update, the re-update dropped on all consoles today. God, these cars have become so fun. I actually want to see something quick. Hold that thought. Visually, I want to see something. Save. Okay. Display. Yep, on. Gotcha. Back. Got it. Alright, I just want to see if something goes away that I'm seeing. Jesus. Nope. Didn't go away, so. I always like to see if I see a visual bug, if it's frame gen or not, because I like to run frame gen on this game. Just because when I'm streaming, I do drop below my 144 hertz. And I don't want to do that. I want all the frames all the time. Even if they're fake. I don't care. If I can see them, how... You know... Quick tangent. And then we're right back to it. Real frames. Real tits. Fake frames. Fake tits. I don't really give a shit. There we go. Whichever one gets me the better experience. Oh, hey, oh, calm down, buddy. God, I love these cars. No! Ah! All good on Series X? Perfect, because I've only tested it on PS5 and obviously PC, but it's been fine on PC. But I tested on my PS5 Pro before I started streaming today, and the experience is quite nice. These are not drift cars, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So, has anybody really spent any time with the LMDH cars? You're still gonna, here's the thing, on console, you're still gonna get frame rate drops, because at the end of the day, though, they're natural frame rate drops. You need more horsepower for the run to maintain 60 frames. That's gonna be normal. Like, I don't know if you guys can notice, but Gran Turismo 7 has a lot of frame drops, even in performance mode. I have very sensitive eyes to that stuff, so I can kind of see it very easily when it happens. But this has the same thing, so it's not try the BMW. All right, so here's what we're gonna do for the remainder of the day. I want to test LMDH cars, unless, of course, they're so bad that I quickly become infuriated by them. But I want to show you my ideal LMDH experience versus where PMR is at. Let's get on a track that isn't as... Let's do... Do we have Spa? No, we don't have Spa on that. I'm trying to think of a track we have on both. I guess we're doing this. Get the AI out of the way. And let's see how the LMDH cars handle. Supposedly they were changed, but I don't think I felt anything, personally. Let's reduce as much oversteer as possible.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying.
So we're trying to limp this car down as much as possible so it doesn't oversteer and kill us. So we Maxed out TC by default. Max deploy 50. Alright, let's do that. Save. No, confirm. Pulled as much clutch out of it as possible. Coast ramp is minimum. Max rear downforce. And soft tires. Yeah, there's definitely some oscillation with the LMDH. That's why I pulled some mid and low out of it.